Myron, your last words on this.
Okay. Because I never got to respond to Myron's other.
The thing with tribalism, it's a natural human instinct. Like, we are literally designed to want to be in communities and want to be a part of a set of community because it ensures our survival. It's been that way since the beginning of time. So the thing is that people are typically going to align with people that share similar features, and that's why we have the tribalism we have going on right now. So the problem is, it's not going to go anywhere. I think the problem is that we've had this penting up for literally decades, and this has been a response to it. You have people that are coming out and supporting someone who you guys might deem as a terrible racist, but I think it's also very important to understand how we got here, because if we're going to look at the smaller problem, we can't look at the bigger problem, and it's what I said before: unchecked systemic.
All right, Mark Lamont Hill, your last words on this.
This repeated use of the word, I think, first of all, I want to just register that as offensive, particularly as someone who doesn't identify as a member of that community and who is not, right? I think that's incredibly
I'm the definition of African American. I'm the definition of African American.
And troublesome, and to as a Sudanese American or an outsider who's using African American, the very technical term, the same way that Elon Musk is an African American, I think it is a bit disingenuous. But the bigger issue here, I think, is that, you know, this idea of equating of one side to the other side often loses track of this issue of power. To use his example, when Black people stand up and say, "Hey, let's build our own stuff. Hey, let's have a Black power movement," that is not the same as a white power. I'll let you speak uninterrupted. Let me finish, please, my Sudanese brother. So when a Black person says, "Hey, let's preserve our culture," I have no problem with Italians or Irish people or anyone else saying, "Let's preserve our culture." But when we don't talk about ethnicity, but actual race, and when white people say, "Let's preserve whiteness," it's an exclusionary practice. It's about preserving laws and practices and tactics that do harm to other people. A Black power movement was about opening stores and building businesses. A white power movement was a white power. That's the giga. A white power movement was about something very, 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 very different. A white power movement included lynchings and included Ku Klux Klan, etc. So let's not pretend that these are opposite sides of the same coin. When white people say, "Let's save our country," and even using language of our country, when Black people built this thing, when you say that, you're talking about forcing people out of the country. You're talking about laws that discriminate. You're talking about doing harm to people. Let's not pretend these are the same thing, just like these GoFundMe campaigns are not the same thing. I'm okay if everybody gets out of the GoFundMe industrial complex. I'd love that. But let's not pretend that supporting someone for a fair trial is the same thing as supporting a grown white woman berating and calling the N-word to a 5-year-old autistic Black child. And the fact that everyone in here can't be unanimous in condemning that says exactly how they're not the same.
I totally agree. I'm going to go to Lily Gaddis and just ask you one more time. I mean, you've been so unashamedly proud of being a racist today, proud of using the N-word whenever you feel like it. You've had a bit of time to think about this. Is that how you want people to leave this panel debate, with thinking of you as a disgusting racist?
I don't really care what people think about me. As long as you care about what people think about you, you have no power and you lose your country. What I care about is freedom of speech. And if you're not allowed to say the most offensive things in this country, you do not have freedom of speech. I don't care what anybody says. So that's the main crux of this situation. That's what I care about with this situation. It is, we have lived for far too long in a country where you can have your life destroyed. And people say, "Oh, she doesn't need this money." Her life's destroyed, by the way. She'll never be able to get another job. She's got children to have to support. And I don't want to live in a country where you can say an inappropriate, rude thing, which, by the way, Black people can say things to white people all the time and they never get canceled. There's no backlashing about this. I want to live in a country where people are allowed to say what they want unashamedly. And you will not have
say it.
free
Say
you
the
will
M-
not have
Go on,
free
say,
speech.
go on. Say the M-word. Go on.
No.
Don't
invite. No.
No.
I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me, because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word, because that's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here. You and one Uncle Tom on the left here, and asking her to say the N-word while I'm here is ridiculous. You would not sit here with a Jewish person and say, "Please use a Jewish slur in front of this Jewish." It's ridiculous. I understand you don't have any bad intent, Pierce. I understand what you're trying to do, but we already know she's racist, and I don't want to invite a racial harm to me.
I hear you, and I accept that, and we'll leave it there. Thank you all very much.
I know. She just admitted she was racist, so I don't know what this whole debate is about. She blatantly said, "I'm a racist." That's what she said. So why are we sitting up here oh, we can understand what she's saying? No, because it would be different if she said, I'm not a racist. I just believe in this, and this is my standpoint. That would be a completely different thing than me saying, I'm a racist. Let's take back our country. Versus, I'm not a racist. Let's make this country better. Because here's the thing, we want to talk about looting. We want to talk about all that. Did you know in California that you can steal up to $1,000 and it's not even a felony or nothing? You will get a slap on the wrist. Well, guess who proposed that whole ideal? It wasn't a black person. It was not a black person at all. Like, it wasn't. And it's just like, so it's like,
who votes for that person?
The state votes for
the Democrats.
What I'm saying.
Who do Democrats, who votes predominantly Democrats?
I don't know. People.
You know who?
People.
It's still a white
I'm not
regardless.
listen, I would be disingenuous. I would be disingenuous if I say I follow politics all the way to the T. I don't. All I know is these are the laws. This is what imposed, and people voted for it. People voted for it. Well, I live in a predominant, you want to say Democratic, but also I consider them a little bit more liberal than Democratic, but out here in California, because that's what it kind of is on the fence of. But for me, it's just
Liberals are Democrats.
Okay, well, for me, it's more of just like, hey, like, this person is, at the end of the day, there is a woman coming up here saying that she is racist. That's it. Like, she's on a panel, she's on a live television stating the fact that she's racist, and this is what her belief is. Okay, you want to talk about freedom of speech? No one is saying we don't have freedom of speech. You have the freedom to say whatever you want to say. We're not going to jail you for it, but you're going to have to be accountable for what it is that you say. You can't just someone can't just walk up to you and, well, someone can. They can walk up to you and say whatever the hell they want. How you react to that is just as much freedom as someone coming up and saying that. So you can't sit up here and tell me we don't have freedom of speech. We do have freedom of speech. The problem with that is not every single person in this world is going to sit up there like, oh, he has freedom of speech, so I'm just going to hide in the corner and let his freedom of speech speak out. No, they're going to clock it as soon as it happens. If you come up to someone and say something outrageous, be prepared for whatever repercussion comes with it. That is just how it goes. So you can say whatever you want, but at the end of the day, you're going to be accountable for what you say, because it's not just about, I want to say whatever I want and I want to put people down. Because guess what? That's what I'm not going to say who, but that's what a really, really big leader did and took over lots of countries. And we had lots of camps and stuff that hurt a lot of different community that we learn in history books today. He had a freedom of speech, and look where that led. So
he didn't have a freedom of speech.
He said whatever he wanted to say, though. That's the thing. People are going to say what they want to say. And
he said what he wanted to say. The people didn't have the power to do that. I think that we're missing the context of it. And again, I get it. I get it. I'm not defending anyone in this position. What I'm defending is what the Constitution is. So the same way how she is saying that she has the ability to call somebody the N-word is the same way that this young man has the ability to go through a process through court to see if he is actually guilty or not guilty, and for people to be able to fund his defense. So I think that we're missing the context of what I think the big picture of why Pearson had these people on this panel is that, look, we are in America where you have the opportunity to say whatever the fuck you want to. And you also have the ability to legitimately unalive a person and go through due process to see if you are actually guilty or not guilty of that crime. And that is one of the beauties that is in America. Be it if you agree with it or not, be it if the courts have worked with us or not, with Black people or not, whatever your perspective of it is, this is what the Constitution was built off of. And I think that that's the point that she's trying to make. Not the opposite of what it is that we're trying to paint it out to be.
But we're not painting it out to anything. She blatantly said what she said to our face.
That's the point.